Good morning and welcome to Moments with Melinda. I am your host, Melinda Moulton. And today I have Liisa Reimann with me. Hi, how are you?
I'm fabulous. Hi, thank you for having me on.
Well, I'm so glad to have you on my show. I have so much to ask you about your life and your career. So let's get going right now because we don't have a lot of time and I have a
Okay.
lot to talk to you about. To my viewers, let me tell you a little bit about Liisa. She is a funnel detective, a dragon boat coach, founder of Funnel Forensics, former Team USA paddler and coach, co-creator of the only USDBF sanctioned steering certification program. We're going to get into all of this. Host of Shenanigans on CCTV, and I believe still president of the Board of Preservation Burlington. She's an architectural historian. She's a seasoned copywriter and wordsmith. Liisa also works with clients on brand identity and is often a speaker at the Women Business Owners Network events. She is the owner and CEO of 2i Copy, a marketing agency. Did I miss anything?
No, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a few more things, but yeah, I mean, it sounds like I'm a crazy person, like a completely like untethered.
No, it sounds like you're a woman who gets a lot done and a woman who has gotten a lot done and a very accomplished woman. And looking through, doing my research on you, I mean, truly, that's what I was resonated in my mind and my heart as well. I mean, you're a woman who's gotten a lot done in your life. So let's start at the beginning. Talk to us about your childhood, where you grew up, your parents, siblings. Talk to us
Yeah.
about that.
I grew up across the pond. I grew up in London. My parents were Czech exiles. They left in '68 when the tanks rolled in. And I was conceived along the way, and I was born in London, and that is where I grew up. They had originally they had planned to go to Australia, but they settled in London, and so that's where I grew up.
Well, talk to me about that. I mean, talk to me how long you were there and where in London did you live? And talk to me about you must have had British grandparents, right?
No,
No,
no, no, we're fully Czech, 100% Czech is
you're
my dad.
100% Czech.
Hmm.
Well, talk to me about that. I mean, because you were born in what year were you born?
1969, the best
Okay.
year there is.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I was 19 when you were born. And that was a great decade. So your parents fled Czechoslovakia
Hmm.
in 63,
68.
68, and then you were born. It was
Yes.
right before you were born.
Yes, yeah. I think I was conceived in Vienna along the way, and I was born in London. I was born on a Sunday.
What a great city to be conceived in, though. I
Mhm.
mean, really, where in Austria? Was it Vienna?
It was Vienna, yeah.
Oh, the most
Yeah,
beautiful city in the world.
it was. It is beautiful. It really is.
Were you
All
their
of
first?
Europe.
Were you their first child?
I am my father's second, my mother's one and only.
And
Yes.
only
Yes.
okay.
And yeah, so I grew up in England. Czech was my first language, so I didn't speak English until I was 5. I loved school, and I was in North London, so East Finchley was my stomping grounds. And then when I was 18 or 17, I came to the US. My father had moved here at that point. He and my mother had split. He moved to the US, and I decided I was going to do senior year of high school here in New Hampshire. So I moved to Merrimack, New Hampshire, of all places. And that is where I finished high school. And then I went on to college, and then I met a boy, and
Yeah, we're going to get into all that, but talk to me about your parents leaving Czechoslovakia. What inspired them to leave?
well,
The
the
political
current.
climate, right?
Yes, exactly. My father was a journalist, and just it was just starting to get oppressive. And from what I understand, they found, along with other people, there was a small window to get out, and they took it.
God, thank heavens they.
My grandmother, though, actually, my grandmother, it's really fascinating. We could spend hours and hours on
I
like
know,
kind
but
of
I'm fascinated with this part of your life because
my grandfather owned factories in Prague and in the Czech Republic, or what was then Czechoslovakia. And so that was all taken away, and my grandmother had to leave. She was, jailed for a while, and then she left in '63 she left and set up home in England. And so my father and my mom, that's where they were going. And that's why they chose London, because they had my grandma there. So they went to join her.
I had a nanny, B. Shramek, who was from Czechoslovakia. My father brought her over when the Russians rolled into Czechoslovakia,
Hmm.
and he saved her family and brought them over.
Hmm.
A fascinating, fascinating history. I'm going to have to interview you again for all about that. So talk to me about, because you're such a doer and you've done so much and you have such incredible energy and women power. Who in your life had the greatest impact on the path that you chose in your life?
My grandma's.
Grandmas, both of them, each of them.
Hmm.
Tell
Yeah,
me
I
about
loved
that.
my grandma's. My father's mother, the one that I just mentioned, the one that went to London. We moved out of London when I was, I don't know, in my tweens. And I would take the train every weekend to go spend the weekend with my grandmother. And my grandmother was amazing. She smoked. She, drank rum. She knew people in the arts and culture. She would take me to the opera and to classical concerts, and she would introduce me to famous people. Because she was their housekeeper, not because she was like rubbing elbows with famous people. She was working and she was a housekeeper, and she was serving all these amazing people. And that was just great. I would just get on the train and spend the weekend with her, and we would just have so much fun. And so she really influenced how I think, how I read, what I'm interested in, politics, like all of that. She was really, really influential. And my other grandmother, she stayed in the Czech Republic. So she was also by herself. She had divorced my other grandfather. My first grandmother, she was a widow. My other one had divorced my grandfather. And so they were these two single, powerful women who just did their own shit. And I loved it. I just loved it.
Wow, that's fascinating. Well, that says a lot about you.
Mm.
And I'm a
I,
grandmother, and I hope I have that kind of impact on my children, you
mhm.
know? So what brought you to Vermont? How did you land
Graduate
here?
school, graduate school. By way, so in New Hampshire, blah, blah, blah. When I moved to the US and finished high school, I went to do my undergrad at the University of New Hampshire. And in after that, I bought a house that was an old house. It was an in 1874 house. And I decided I wanted to learn how to be a really good steward of my house. I didn't just want to, it was an old house and I love history. I love old buildings, I just adore them. Hence the preservation Burlington piece. And I wanted to learn how to take care of it responsibly. So the only natural, logical thing I could think of to do was to quit my job in web design at New Hampshire Public Television and enroll in graduate school in Vermont and drag my kids along with me. And so that is what I did. And that is how I ended up in Vermont.
So where did your parents land when they came to this country?
So my mother stayed in London. My parents split. My
Okay.
father first he went to Kentucky and then he sort of traveled around and ended up in Merrimack, New Hampshire. So
Okay.
that's where I went first.
Yeah.
But from then I lived in like, different places. I stuck around and then I went to UNH. Mhm.
I, and are your parents still alive?
My father has passed. He passed in 2016. My mom is alive, and I moved her in with me about 3 years ago, 4 years
Oh,
ago.
stop it. I
Mhm.
love it.
Mhm.
Good for you.
It's me, my
I
mom, and the
bet you
dog. It's awesome.
I bet your mother's sort of my age, I would believe, probably. So at the University of New Hampshire, you received your BA in English and Russian.
Hmm.
Um, that was your choice of study. But then you had an interest in architectural history, and
Hmm.
you received your master's degree from UVM in historic preservation.
Yeah.
So what inspired you? Was that the old farm, the old house that you bought?
The old house that I
That-
bought. And so the first part of my learning journey was I wangled myself a preservation carpentry internship at Strawberry Bank Museum in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, because I wanted to learn all this stuff. And so I had a really great mentor and I had learned how to use power tools and I learned how to do all kinds of things. And that was really my first step into preservation, and I loved it. And it just snowballed from there.
That's incredible. Um, and so you speak four languages. You speak Czech, English, French, and Russian.
Yeah, not very well. So Czech is my first language. I'm bilingual in Czech and English. I studied French in school and from high school up and living in Europe, around all those anyway, French. But then in college, I didn't want to graduate. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had no idea. So I was like, oh, I'll just pick up another major because Russian kind of came easy to me. It's, the same sort of Germanic base. And so I stayed an extra year so that I could study Russian.
So you came to UVM to study historic preservation and you
Yes,
stayed.
yes.
You stayed. So what inspired you to stay here?
Vermont. I was a single mom with two kids. I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but when you go up 89 and you cross that border, it's not even a real border, right? Like there's just something that releases and it's just a breath and exhale. And I just felt Vermont got me and that it would be a great place for my kids. The place where I lived in New Hampshire, there's not a lot of diversity, and there's not a lot in Vermont either, but there is in Burlington. And so when I first moved here, I lived over in graduate student housing over at Fort Ethan Allen. And there were lots of people from lots of different countries. We had neighbors who were from Africa and Europe and like all these different places. And it was a phenomenal place for my kids to learn and grow up and be exposed to other cultures and immigrants, and just it was such a rich community. And that's what Burlington held for me, and that's what I wanted to stay because from London to New Hampshire, the culture, the intellectual activities, they're smaller. And when you have people that have these diverse backgrounds, you get to have more of that. And that's what really attracted me and kept me here. Plus the
Absolutely.
lake. I need water. The lake is really big, and if I can't have the
Okay.
ocean, the lake is a good substitute.
So, you are president of the Board of Preservation Burlington. So I want you to talk to us about this organization, your mission, vision, and goals, and how can my viewers get involved?
So the organization is quite old. It's been around for 25 years or so now. I'm a terrible historian. Dates just like fly out of my head. So just putting that out there. I cannot remember a darn thing.
Well, 25 years is not that long, just so
Well,
you
it is for me,
it is
you
for
know.
you. For me, it's like, oh God, not very long.
Anyway, it's been around a while, and its mission is really to preserve the historic architecture and livability of Burlington through education and advocacy. It is an all-volunteer run organization. It's had its ups and downs, and it's in a little bit of a down right now, because we all have jobs and careers and families. And so we're looking for, actually, this is a really good question because we're looking for a new influx of people to come in. So we have opportunities for volunteers. Our biggest event is the annual Homes Tour, where the community and visitors can look inside other people's houses. I don't know if you've ever done this. Like, I love it. Like peeking inside people's houses, especially historic houses. It's just amazing. So we have community members who volunteer and open up the doors to their houses every summer, and people come through and they chat and they learn the history, and it's really great. And then we do walking tours like Church Street, the waterfront, Pine Street, all kinds of walking tours of historic Burlington, and pointing out the different architectural styles, the histories of the neighborhoods, because not a lot of people are aware of the histories of their neighborhoods. We have a marker program for historic houses. So if somebody wants to learn about their history of their house and just be proud and display like this house was built in 1867, then we can help with that and just make sure the date is right. And we give them a nice green marker, which I have. Well, anyway, I got one for my house, 1955. That is historic now.
It sure is. I was 5. That is
Yeah.
historic. So, how can I, so how, so talk to us, what's your website? Tell me what your website, preservationburlington.org.
Preservationburlington.org.
And because
Yes.
my viewers can also make a donation to your
Yes, absolutely.
organization right online.
Yes.
Yep. And you also give awards. You give out awards to people who have done great historic
We
preservation work,
we do.
right?
Every year
Yep.
we have an annual event and awards in several different categories. So, an institutional award, a residential award, a commercial award, and a spirit of preservation award. Because one thing that I think a lot of people don't understand is that good preservation can simply be just maintenance, lovingly maintaining your home, making sure it has a good coat of paint every year, making sure the slate roof is in good working order. So we an award in that area as well. And then we offer as a final award for somebody that makes a really big difference in the community every year. And you have won that award, and we were really, really excited to give that to you.
Well, I did, and you gave me the award plaque, which I'm going to give back to you at your next event
That's
when
where
I
it is.
come. I'm going to give it back to you, although I'm going to hate to part with it. Um, so my viewer, so when you say it's in a down slip, I mean, what is it? What does that mean?
I think ever since COVID,
Mm.
the nonprofit landscape is tough. It's hard to get people to get involved and get excited, and just there's so many opportunities for people or so many organizations looking for help. The other thing is the board is small and the need is large. And we have not done a great job of getting out there and getting help either. So that's really what I mean. The board is just a little tired, and we're looking for creative ways to get more people involved with our organization and preservation in Burlington as a
Do you have
whole.
do you have an advisory council or some kind of an advisory group?
No.
Because, we're starting the Burlington History, well, we're not starting it for 3 years, the Burlington History, and we put together an advisory board of 20 people, and boy, has that bolstered us. You might want to think about that for people who don't want to commit to a board service, but you might get a bunch of people who love preservation and might be willing to
Mhm.
be on your advisory group.
Yeah, that's where I was going, and thank you for getting me back on track. So we have opportunities for people to volunteer with all kinds of different things. We have an education committee, the home store. We can, people if that's just like a once a year thing. We have people if they want to do walking tours, we can educate them and train them to do that. We can take volunteers who like to raise money or do development or go talk to people, go to City Hall and monitor the meetings and see what's going on. So there's lots of different smaller opportunities for volunteering as well.
All right, so to my viewers, preservationburlington.org, visit their website. You have a present, you also have a hosted TV show
Mhm,
at CCTV for Preservation Burlington. You do that.
mhm.
Now, you have a presentation called Bot or Not: Why Your Copy Needs a Human Touch. I love it. Talk to us about that.
Oh, that's quite a pivot. Yeah, so in my copywriting sphere, so I am a copywriter. I have my own company that helps small businesses and women-led businesses with their marketing and making sure they stand out in the sea of marketing and sameness. And a lot of people in the past couple of years have really taken to AI, ChatGPT, Claude, all these things to start writing their marketing. And it's gone a little bit, the pendulum always swings first in one direction and then the other. And the people that are relying on the AI engines to create their marketing, they're finding that it's falling really flat right now,
Mm.
that users, buyers, consumers, they're not stupid. They can understand and they know and they can recognize when something is not written by a human, and they're really craving that human connection.
Right.
I think, especially out of COVID, right when we saw people gravitating back again into social groups and groups where there's human connection and interaction, they're seeing the same in this AI generated content, and they're just starting to be distrustful. So that's what I talk about. And how can you leverage AI? How can you still have your own voice and your brand message and your humanity and your personality in your business content, but maybe using AI as a tool, but not as the thing that runs the show for you.
Right. So you are also involved in BNI. It's a business networking group,
Mhm.
Queen City BNI. Talk to us about that organization, how people can get involved. That's been around for a long time.
Yes, BNI as a whole has been around for many years. It in Vermont there are 7 chapters. Queen City BNI is just one of them. And it's a really great place for business owners, especially starting business owners or brick and mortar service-based business owners, to meet other business owners and build a referral network. And that's really how it stands out from other networking groups where, maybe you have a Chamber of Commerce mixer where you kind of go and you stand in a crowd and you're not really sure who to speak to, and it kind of feels sometimes it's not aligned. Um, this is a very structured meeting group. They meet weekly. You have to make a commitment to them and yourself. And you talk about your business for 1 minute every week. And then you form relationships with other business owners in the community. And the whole goal is that you create these really strong relationships, that you refer a business to each other. So basically, each chapter is like one huge marketing pod for every business in that room. So that is
Fantastic.
how, when I started my business, that is how I started meeting people in the community. And it was phenomenal. It gave me so much confidence to pitch, to talk about myself, to meet people, because I'm a little bit of an introvert. I'm awkward around people. I don't do well in crowds, I'm the wallflower. So it was a really great opportunity for me.
So now let's move into Dragon Boat because
Hmm.
this is a big part of your life. You're involved in
Yes.
a big way with the Dragon Boat organization. Your role is not only a participant, but a coach.
Hmm.
And I would like to add that 15 years ago, you had your first win at the Canadian National Championships.
Hmm.
The inaugural Virtual Dragon Summit was just a couple of weeks ago,
Hmm.
Dragon Boat School. So talk to us about how did you get involved in the Dragon Boat
Um,
program?
I was dating a fireman and he wanted to have me join his team in a charity festival. So I did. I tried the sport. I'd never heard of it before, and I fell immediately in love with it. And then I started going to races up in Montreal and seeing all the elite racers up there. And I thought, I want to do that. And I was nearing 40 at this point, so I was not no spring chicken. And I've never really been super athletic. I'd done running in college and I played field hockey as a kid, but nothing really serious. So I had to get really serious. And I tried out for a team up in Montreal and I made the cut. And I trained in Montreal. I made the commute from Burlington to Montreal 2 to 3 times a week for about 6 years. With my training partner, Gisela, who also got bitten by the bug. So we kind of did this all together. And we went on to Hong Kong where we won the world championships. Then we started our own club here in Burlington to bring that level of coaching and expertise to the sport here. And then we decided to try out for Team USA together, and we got there. And then we decided to try out as coaches for Team USA, and we did that as well. So we did a lot.
Tell my viewers what Dragon Boat is.
Dragon boating is, imagine a 40-foot canoe with 10 benches, 2 people per bench. It's a little bit like Noah's Ark, 2 by 2. So 20 people paddling. There is a drummer at the very front of the boat, and then there's a person standing in the back steering. And so there's basically these big war canoes that race down a race course for various distances. It is a 2,000-year-old sport that started in China, and it is the fastest growing team water sport in the world. And
And
it's a great sport.
it's to support what?
It's a sport. It doesn't support
So
anything in.
it's not cancer related
No.
because the Dragon Boat in Burlington is to raise money.
Yeah, so Dragon Heart in
Oh, Dragon
Burlington.
Heart. So you did this as a sport.
Yes, yes. It
Wow.
is. So breast cancer survivorship and cancer
Is
survivorship
Dragon
and
Heart.
cancer teams, that's just a small part of dragon boating.
Okay.
It is a massive sport. And, there's veterans teams, there's para paddlers, there's all these different kinds of
Wow.
specialties and niches within the sport. But it is a huge sport in and of itself. And it is phenomenal to watch. It's
Are you
also a.
doing it? Are you still doing it?
So I run a dragon boat club here in Burlington. It's called Malia Racing, Malia Paddling and Racing Club. We operate out of the Community Sailing Center, and we race all over the US and Canada for the most part.
That is outstanding.
Hmm.
Unbelievable.
You should
Again,
come try it sometime. It's
you
fun.
know what? I'm a rower. I've been rowing in my, concept too. And then I
Hmm.
have a hydro, but I've been rowing for 30 years. And
Hmm.
actually Dragonheart asked me to come on as a drummer.
Hmm.
But I just didn't have the time. But you never know. I mean, I've got pretty good shoulders on me.
Yeah.
So now you have your TV show Shenanigans on
Hmm.
CCTV, which I had the honor to be on. And we talked a little bit about AI. Um, so I want to talk to you a little bit about women and about your show, Shenanigans. As you know, women have been marginalized under this current administration.
Mhm.
So, what words of wisdom, as a strong and very independent woman, do you have for them and us as we navigate this period in American history where our rights are being attacked? And talk about your TV show, Shenanigans, and why you're focusing on hearing about women.
So many things to say here. My first piece of advice is just like stop asking for permission and just go after what you want, right? We
Kick
have
the
been
door
con
down, kick the door
yes,
down.
yes. A lot of women I think are reluctant to do kicking, right? Like that it can feel like you have to be aggressive about it, but you don't have to be. You can be strong in quiet ways, but just go after what you want. And I think that is what my grandmother's really instilled in me and my mom. My mom's a really strong woman. Is just get after what you want. You don't have to ask permission or have somebody help you. You can go out there and get it. It's good if you know people because it's not a solo sport, this life thing or entrepreneurship or anything. And as a historian, one of the things that drives me crazy is doing research and finding, on a woman, and I go to the grave site, let's say, and it's like John Smith and wife, or,
Yeah.
Mrs. John Smith. It's like, wait a
I
minute,
still get invites to Mrs. Richard Moulton. I mean, I still get, I'm like, what?
yeah, yeah, exactly. And so finding those stories is really difficult because you have to figure out how to find their maiden names and then like track all this stuff. And history really is about the men that were written about. If you look at Burlington's history, right, it's all about the men. Not
Absolutely.
that the men are bad or that they didn't deserve the kudos that they got, but the women have consistently been forgotten in history. And so I wanted to make sure that women's voices going forward are heard. And there are a lot of phenomenal women in this community, not just Burlington, but Vermont as a whole, who are doing amazing things, who are making an impact, who are serving in so many different ways. And so Shenanigans is really about those women who said, I'm going to stand up for this. I'm going to follow my heart. I'm going to make a difference in my community and the world. And those are the people that I want to lift up and showcase, but also through doing that, inspire the other generations of women who might be thinking about like things that they want to do or who are saying to themselves, I can't do this. There's no way. If I can show them somebody who did something or is doing something, maybe I'll inspire them to take that step for themselves.
Wow, it's a great show. So, how are you feeling about Burlington? I'm a little tired. I've got to write an essay for Digger. I'm a little tired of people all over the state saying, "Oh, I never go to Burlington, blah, 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 blah." Burlington's coming around. It had a tough time after COVID. And we have
Mhm.
groups like Building Burlington's Future. I mean, how do you feel about how things are going in Burlington?
I love this city.
Thank
The
you.
city has given me so much. Yes, there's problems. There's problems everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yes,
Go to San Francisco.
yeah, I feel that if you can't complain if you're not part of the solution. And so I really don't like the people that, all over Facebook, and that's part of the nature of social media. Like everybody is brave behind a keyboard or a screen, right? And so all these people are saying Burlington sucks and Burlington's crime ridden and Burlington's dangerous, blah, blah, blah. I've never had an issue in Burlington. I'm also don't not out there at 2 a.m. Right. So that's one thing. But I love going downtown. I love going to Church Street. I love frequenting the businesses and supporting local. So I think Burlington has some challenges, but the community needs to get together and not expect one person, one mayor or one department to fix everything.
That's real. Thank you so much for that. So to my viewers, listen to Lisa, get your butts to Burlington. Our businesses have been there for a long time. They need your support and back to that great Queen City. Come
Mhm.
on, her crown may be a little lopsided, but we're getting it straight and you need to come and support us. So
We all have our slips and falls, right? Too.
uh,
So,
tell me about it. No
mhm,
kidding, but no, one of the most beautiful cities in the world. And our citizens of Vermont need to come and support
mhm.
Burlington. So let's do that. So I want to ask you, what words of wisdom Lisa, would you give humanity about where we are as a society, whether it's climate change, human rights, income inequality? Where do you see our species in 20 years?
Hopefully better than we are now. I mean, right now, it depends what you want to focus on. And sometimes it's really easy to get overwhelmed. The news is full of bombings and, flattened uh, cities, and it's just dire. I think it really starts with human to human connection. We have kind of lost the art of connecting with each other. Everybody's in their cell phone or scrolling on social media and not giving enough time to get out and just connect with other humans. And I think that's where it really needs to start.
So, what do you say to your children? How old are your children, by the way?
My kids are grown, so
You're all
30
grown.
and 32 are my kids. Um, I just say the same things to them, and we encourage getting together as a family, making sure that we stay connected, that we stay real. I keep them, I hope I keep them grounded, and just supporting them in the things that they do.
Well, you're a good mom, and now they have their grandma with them too.
Yeah.
Now, are your children with up here? Are they near
hmm
you?
Yeah, one's in South
Fantastic.
Burlington and one's in Burlington. Yeah,
You
one just
gotta
moved
love it, right?
downtown, so
I know. I
yeah.
love it. They're right under your feet.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Lisa Reimann, for your time.
Thank you
You
so
are
much
a
for having me.
marvel, a magnificent woman who is making a significant difference in the lives of so many women and helping us to appreciate Burlington's architectural history, supporting uh, the sport of dragon boat. You're quite a marvel, extraordinary. I want to follow your career. And you're educating small businesses on how better to communicate. What more
Mhm.
could we ask from you, my friend? You've done so much in your life. You're high energy, and I really appreciate getting to know you.
Thank you so very much. It's
Yeah.
been really fun getting to know you too, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Okay, me too. Well, we need to spend more time together. Hey, and to my viewers, I want to wish you a beautiful day. Get out and, get out and, get busy and get out into this beautiful summer that we have. It's really been quite lovely. And I will see you soon. Bye bye.